I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, let me give you guys kind of an early, late winter, spring update from the front lines here, but it's still very early. We're into February here. And what I'm kind of seeing, I'll talk a little bit about interest rates, rental rates here. I've got my latest stats here on the rental market that I keep track of every month as well. So early 2023 here, so far, I mean, I've got 3 listings currently active right now. I've got 2 more coming shortly. I am seeing, the bears aren't going to like this, but I am seeing buyers out there right now. It's way too early for me to really get a bead on interest rates and how they're affecting this market. The market's definitely, it's been slowing since last fall, early last fall, when the interest rates really started to take effect. What I can tell you though, I've got a couple of 1-bedroom units listed right now. I've also got a luxury home listed in Yaletown right now. Not getting too much action on that, a few showings here and there, but I mean, it's at a higher price point. The 1-beds though, I'm getting pretty close to getting an offer on one or both of them here, I think. I had, just a couple days ago on the weekend, I had an open house on both and good turnout. What I can tell you is a much better turnouts, probably double than what I was seeing in November and December of last year. So take it for what you want to decipher out of that. Again, I'll keep you guys posted as we actually move into the spring market here and everything else. You know, what I'm seeing, I'm talking to some of my mortgage guys here as well, and I'm keeping track with them on the current rates and everything else. This is kind of what a couple of them told me, and these are real experienced guys. They're privy to hundreds of applications here. They're both senior reps at both TD and Royal Bank. They're saying that, buyers are out there. Vancouver real estate, I've talked about this before, it's kind of like a big balloon that you're trying to hold underwater. And starting late last summer through the Christmas holidays, the market slowed dramatically. I still had sales. I'm a top producer, so I'm still moving homes. But I saw a big drop off in the number of phone calls, showings, all that stuff. My 1-bedroom, high quality 1-bedroom stuff was still pretty strong and still is. But again, I've talked about this many times. You move up the food chain to the detached market, luxury condos, 2 beds. It's been slow. I have seen, some resurgence here in the first part of 2023. We'll see where it goes. But a lot of my mortgage guys are saying this. It's like holding a balloon underwater. Buyers have been quiet for the last 6 months, but there's a lot of people out there that have to buy. They want to buy. They also want to sell because, there has been still very little inventory, which I'll go into in more detail here as we move into the spring. They're coming here and they're renewing their pre-approvals. They've been on the sidelines for a while. What they're telling me is, some of these buyers, I want to buy. I want to get my first place. I want to buy or move up from a 1-bed to a 2-bed. Part of the problem that's holding them back right now is, again, there is just not a lot of supply to move into. We'll have to see where that goes. That'll be something to really keep an eye on as we move into spring. We're way below our 10-year average on inventory. If you want a good quality 1-bed, it's a waiting game right now. You want a good quality 2-bed under $1 million, it's a waiting game. But some of them are renewing these mortgages. They're plugging their nose, as one guy told me. Earlier this year, they had a 2-year fixed at 3.2%. Now they're looking at close to 7% on that 2-year fixed. But they're renewing these in hopes that they're going to buy here this spring. They want to buy. But he kind of told me they're plugging their nose at the higher rates, even though, these higher rates, it's not so much as far as historical averages, they're still pretty reasonable. But it's kind of where we've come from. We've gone from a 1.4 variable to a 5.6 variable in 9 months, 10 months. But they've been kind of recommending that most of them are going 2-year fixed. They're locking in for 2 years under the premise, I'm going to buy something, I'm going to take a 2-year mortgage at 6.85, I'm going to plug my nose and hope in 2 years, the rates are a little more favorable when I renew in February of 2025. And nobody has a crystal ball, but most people I talk to seem to think that not a bad strategy, and they probably will be in that situation. And that's exactly what I just did on renewing a mortgage in early December. I was at 3.1. It was an investment. It was one of my investment units. I locked in at 6.6 for 2 years in hopes that, hey, in 2 years, hopefully it's a little better rate. For me, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge mortgage, and it's all deductible anyways. So we'll see where all this goes. I am seeing some rays of sunshine here, at least on the entry-level product. Let me talk about where, again, I've done a few blogs on this, on where I'm seeing cracks in the system here right now in the market, and that is on the higher-end luxury homes. Maybe a $5-6 million detached home on the west side. Not a lot of inventory, but then again, not a lot of sales. As a matter of fact, if you go into some of these neighborhoods, and even in the higher end luxury condo market, there's been not a lot for sale since March, April, May, June, July. After that, there was a massive drop off because back in the summer, people had rate locks still at very favorable rates. Since then, the rates have skyrocketed up, so a lot less sales. But the luxury presale or luxury market, with these are units that have come online, they got occupancy last fall, last summer, early last year, so they're 18 months old or younger, let's say. The problem with those are it's a bit of a double whammy, and prices are starting to crack and come down because not only are they facing this same interest rate environment and the market trending lower in that price category, but they have the inventory. That's the big difference. What's keeping the prices moderated here and not really down that much is because there's nothing for sale. In some of these new construction strata, there is inventory. There's a number of buildings in Cole Harbour, 15, 20 listings. Downtown here, one that I'm following that just got occupancy this past summer. There's, as I speak now, 27 or 28 listings in there. And, you know, the pricing is all over the road. You know, this really comes down to, I've talked about hiring the right realtor and getting good counsel. That's what you're paying a realtor for. And I'm seeing a lot of sellers here that you can tell they're running the show. They're setting the prices and how they're marketing this and where they're at, and they don't know what they're doing, of course. They're not realtors, or at least not experienced realtors. They're just not getting good counsel. They're making big mistakes on this. You go into one of these buildings I'm talking about, a really good building, just got occupancy summer, fall of last year. Currently about 26, 27 units on the market. Prices are starting to come down here. And, you know, you look at some of the listings here, they're all over the road. You'll have a unit on the 20th floor, let's just for argument's sake call it 1,000 square feet at 2.5. You've got a better unit 15 floors higher with a much better outlook and maybe 2 parking instead of 1, selling listed at $300,000 less than the one on the low floor. So, which is crazy. I mean, that guy on the low floor, he's dreaming. But of course, how it all kind of plays out is you can see the history on these. And I can see in a lot of cases what they paid for these. So a lot of these people, they bought these 4 years ago, completed on them in August, got the keys. And a lot of the time they list these things at $200,000-300,000 above what they paid because they think, hey, I want to make some money, even though the comparables were not there. The market was not there. That price that they put it out had no relevance in the current market. Zero. Personally, I wouldn't list the home at that price. If that seller told me I want to list it at this amount, I would say, Mr. Seller, you don't have a hope on that. You're wasting your time. I will get you the best price I possibly can, but we have to base it on fact. There's 5 or 6 other units that are superior to yours that are priced $200,000 to $300,000 less. Why would they buy your unit? And you're seeing that now on where the ones that are selling are the ones that are getting in front of it. Their realtors are telling them, listen, it's you and 20 other listings. If you want to sell this in a downsliding market, which it is right now, you've got to get in front of this. Because that's the thing about overpricing homes. Nothing wrong with overpricing a home. A little bit is fine, but hideously overpricing a home might be okay if the market's hot and it's going up. Or, you know, even if it's staying flat, eventually days on market will build up and reduce it. But you're not doing too much damage because the market's flat or going up slightly. In a market like this, where that market is in a slow descent, you better get in front of it or just keep the home. Don't sell it. Live in it, move in it, into it. You know, and you know, you don't know the whole story with all these homes. I actually have been touring some of these stratas for clients, and I'm always curious myself. I'm always in the market. I'm happy where I am right now. I'm in a relatively new home, But hey, down the road, I'm always looking to, if the right deal comes along. So I've been touring some of these units and some of these high-end strata just to get a feel for the strata. I always ask the realtor, why are they selling? Because that's the million-dollar question. You don't know. I mean, it's all over the road. These people would have bought these units 4 years ago. Of course, at that time, interest rates were much less than what they are now. So some of them, you got flippers and get-rich-quick type people out there that figure, hey, real estate never goes down. I'm going to buy this condo, and in 4 years, I'll be able to make $300,000 or $400,000 on it. I'll flip it. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't after you add your friction costs in. And so that might be one where they bought it, thought they were going to make a boatload of money, and the market's turned on them. In some cases, it's a divorce. It could be a job loss. It could be disability. Maybe it was going to be their dream home and things have changed. In a lot of cases, hey, we thought we were going to be paying 3% when we took the keys on this. Now we're paying 7%. We can't afford it. We thought our payment was going to be $5,000. Now it's going to be $8,500. We got to sell this thing. I asked on one of them. I always ask. I'm always curious what kind of answers you get. Some of them I don't believe. I mean, one of them, it was a beautiful unit. Why did they sell? Why are they selling? Oh, it took too long to complete. So they didn't want to wait. Too many delays, and they bought something else. Don't buy that one, because that building was a little late, about 4 to 5 months. Hardly anything, crazy. I've seen some strata that are 2 years behind what their estimated completion date was. So there's probably something there. Interest rates spiking, wanted to get in front of it. These people actually did have it priced correctly. They were somewhat in front of it. It was pretty much the best price unit in there for that square footage and that floor plan. And they're going to get an offer on that one pretty soon. They're far and away, they position themselves to be, if someone's interested in that building and is a serious buyer, they're going to probably go after that one first, for sure. And that's kind of what you need. When you've got that much competition in a downtrending market, you better be priced right. But it is all over the road. Some of the stuff in there, they're just dreaming. What? Take it off the market, for God's sake. You're not going to sell it at that price. All you're doing is building up a whole bunch of days on market. These units are, for the most part, are empty. So, I don't know, move into it, rent it out, although that's not a great option. As a matter of fact, it's better than nothing, but that's about it. You're not going to get a great rent for these ultra luxury units. Plus, you're going to go brand new unit. Tenants are going to rough it up. It's way too high end to put tenants in it, in my opinion. So that market is an interesting one to keep an eye on. There is a couple of units out there right now. As a matter of fact, if someone's watching this blog, I don't promote my own listings and stuff very often, but if you've got a $2.5 million budget right now and you're looking for a high-end luxury condo that has everything going for it, southwest exposure, high floor, unobstructed views, incredible finishings, I've got several units right now that I think are tremendous value and might get worse. I don't know. I have a feeling one of the ones I looked at last week is probably going to get picked off pretty soon here, because when you compare that even to the tangible market, there's units that are 8, 9, 10 years old right now that are selling around that same price. That here you can buy brand new, under warranty, extremely high finishings. These guys have got this unit priced right, but there's probably a little negotiating room. And don't ask me about the GST. That's all over the road too. You can take advantage here of some unsuspecting realtors and their sellers who think that GST is 100% paid when it's not. I've done blogs on the double dipping and all that other stuff. Final thing I'll leave you with here, current market here. Every month I get my update from my friends at live.rent. They send me the updates on rental prices. Rental rates, how many blogs have I done on this? There's no place to hide here, folks. You can thank the government for this. Yeah, prices, interest rates have gone up. Home prices are extremely high, but your rents have gone up far more. Again, it's the Tina effect. There is no alternative. Once you get into a rental market as expensive as Vancouver, boy, you got to do everything you can to get out of that, because if you stay too long, you're never going to get out. Ever. Not at our rents. It's incredible. The rents just keep continuing to go up. The December numbers here, the typical one bedroom was up another $30 a month, We're now at almost $2,300 a month for an average one bed. And remember, the old dilapidated stuff in the West End is bringing those overall averages down. You want a decent 600 square foot, one bed with parking, maybe a 12-year-old strata, nothing fancy, you're probably looking at $2,600, $2,700 a month. Those were renting 3 years ago for around 21 or 22. They're not going anywhere. It's only going to get worse. 50,000 new arrivals coming into the Lower Mainland for the foreseeable future every year. We're not building anything. Governments are stifling you from getting into the housing market. They tell you they want to help you, but they do the reverse. Stress test. They're going to tighten the mortgage rules even higher. From what I hear, I don't know how much more harder they can get. No inventory. Interest rates, of course, have gone way up, so the cost of buying is spiked up as well. Once you get it, the rental market is not going to solve your problems. Get this. So the average for 2022 was up almost 7%. But since January of 2021, the average one-bedroom rent downtown has gone up 38% since January 2021. And I know it from my portfolio. I haven't had a lot of turnover, and I've gone back now to giving the prescribed allowable rent increases because any tenant that moved in 2020 is already way below market rent. And that's not going to get any better. So that's where we're at right now, late winter 2023. Stay tuned for more updates as we move forward. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to everyone that continues to buy my book on Amazon. See you next week.